Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming miniature video. And in tonight's video, we're going to be talking about what have I done. And in What Have I Done, my What Have I Done series is I paint miniatures throughout the week or weeks or what have you for my store or for a commission. And in this case, these miniatures were painted for my eBay store. So these are all for sale as of this video. So if you're interested, you can go on there and check them out. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what I've done. This is a Westwind Sherman, and it's part of their Berlin or Bust series. It's 100% metal, and yeah, I did pretty good on this one, I think. Now there's not 100% metal. Hold on, wait a second. I think the body of this miniature is resin. Yeah, the body of this miniature is made of resin, but the turret and the tracks are all metal. Because, you know, you've got your metal. And this is the Sherman 75 millimeter with the welded hull is what it looks like. All right, so let me get the next one out. All right, this is also a Westwind Sherman. It's just the British Firefly. You'll notice that I painted it using the British SCC 15 olive. That is the 1945 official British green that's supposed to be used on their World War II tanks, not Russian uniform. And I get a kick of people painting their British tanks with Russian uniform, when it's supposed to be, I don't know how focus is going to be on this, but SC15 British 44-45 olive drab. Yeah, that's the official armor color, and you can see how it's a little bit darker green. It's less olive. This color is from MIG. I got this color also from, try to remember, I think it might have been Vallejo, but the MIG color is a better looking green color. The Vallejo color is just way too dark. It almost looks black. Now this is similar. It's got the Firefly resin hull. You'll notice that there's no machine gun port. They plugged that up. It's got the 17 pounder as a cannon. And yeah, again, this one is going on sale on my eBay store as well. Okay, let me pull out the next one. All right, now this next one is a 251-1 Honmag. It's a German half track. I think it came out pretty good, but there's a flaw in the mold, in my opinion. It's not a flaw, it's just a design flaw. It's like the way they designed it. This is a solid metal model. The hull, the tracks, and the wheels The whole side of the vehicle is all one piece. It's all attached, and the same thing with the other side. And you glue the two halves together, um, and you get this crack down the middle underneath that you don't see, but that's when the left and the right are glued together. But you might notice, don't look at the engine compartment door, because that's perfectly fine to have that as a crack, because those would get out of whack or slightly off or what have you. But to the side of it, you'll see a crease, a line. That's actually where the two metal parts go together. I would have thought that it would have went straight down the center. I think that would have been, but they did it off center. They did it like a 1/3 off center, and I had to use a little bit of putty to fill those gaps to get that to look good. But either way, this one is also Westwind, Berlin or Bust, Dunkelgelb, the late war paint. All right, so let me go ahead and show you the next one I've done. To help speed this video along, I'm going to put these two together because they actually come together. It's a pair of Kuba Wagons. What I've done was also Westwind, also metal. These are solid metal. Now these are a little bit of a kit you got to assemble, but it's not hard at all. I decided to do one early war, one late war. Basically just the German gray versus the Dunkelgelb. Now, I've also decided to split these up and sell them individually on my eBay store. That way, if you only need one Kuba Wagon, you could just pick up a Kuba Wagon. And so these are on there. These guys look pretty good. They didn't come with any crew, no driver, no passengers, nothing like that. So it was just the Kuba Wagons. Now, I think Westwind sells Kuba Wagon crews as a bag. I would have thought that they would put maybe 1 or 2 Kuba Wagons with 3 or 4 crew in the bag and sell it like that. But instead, they have a Kuba Wagons in a bag and crew in a separate bag. I think they do. All right, let's show the next group are offensive miniatures. So we've got the offensive miniature airborne Jeep, and it comes with 3 crew passengers. Yeah, it's got a lot more assembly. It's like the undercarriage and the chassis have to be glued together. Then the windscreen, the radiator has to be glued on. The tires, all 5 tires have to be glued on. The axe and shovel have to be glued on. The gas canister in the back has to be glued on, as well as the 3 stick shifts, the steering wheel, and then the 3 crew. Oh, and the chairs. All the chairs, the back of the back seat and the 2 front seats have to be glued on. So it's actually, I don't know, 20 pieces or something like that, 20 plus pieces. It took me a minute to get everything put together, but I think it turned out pretty good. There's one thing I don't like about it. It's the steering wheel. The steering wheel and the driver are not compatible. The steering wheel, if you glue it on first, it gets in the way of putting the driver in. And if you put the driver in first, you can't get the steering wheel in place. So I wound up bending the steering wheel to get the driver in. But and his hands are too far apart to grip the steering wheel that comes with the miniature. So you have to, maybe if I took some pliers, I could have squeezed his arms together and made it. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to damage any of the character. Yeah, and so I decided to paint him with the D-Day paint scheme. And yeah, so let's go ahead and pull up the next group. All right, so I did the Offensive Miniatures Pathfinders. It comes with a guy still wearing his parachute harness and holding on to his parachute. He also has his reserve chute on his chest. And I decided to go ahead and base the parachute separately instead of making it one long base like they've got on their website. I decided to separate it in case you wanted to play with these four Pathfinders. I mean, he could still be used, and that's really just for display purposes. The You have a Pathfinder here who's on a radio with his hands set up to his face. You got a guy here who looks like he's in charge. He's reaching for something out of his chest, or he's looking at his watch. I'm sorry, he's checking his time on his watch. And this guy is holding a controller in his hand because he's supposed to be controlling a light fixture that came with this set. But the light fixture was had very tiny multi-part pieces, and it wouldn't have fit on the base. It would have been an extra piece like this, and I decided not to do it because I had dropped a couple of the pieces into the carpet and they were lost to time. I'm sure when I vacuum, I'll hear it when I scoop them up. But I gave up on the lighting fixture. And yeah, but I think they came out really good. If you notice, they have the 101st patch on their shoulders. The 101st patch is molded onto the models, and they also have a like one guy is wearing a chemical. Okay, I'm trying to look at the right shoulder. I think it's this guy right here. He's wearing the chemical Bussard, which is supposed to detect if you're getting any kind of chemical attack. But the other ones have these squares on their forearms, upper arms, which I could have painted an American flag on. I opted not to because there's some controversy on whether or not the 101st jumped into D-Day with American flags or not. I know there's a lot of sources say they did. The 82nd definitely did, and a lot of people say the 101st did as well. All the uniforms that I've seen in the 101st Museum have the flag. The uniform that I own, which is a reproduction, but it came with the American flag. And I think it's the Pathfinders that might have worn the American flag, and the maybe the regular 101st guys didn't. I'm not exactly sure. I've done a lot of research, and I'm getting mixed messages. Also, the ground is done with the European mud, and I decided instead of using any flock, what I did was I put just tubs on there. All right, guys. Well, that was all that I was able to complete this week for the store. All of this is for sale, so you can go on to my eBay store and check that out. Now, I do not have any commissions in the works right now, so if you're interested in getting some figures painted for you, or your club or your friends, let them know that I do paint jobs, and there should be a price scheme in the description below. If not, you can just drop me an email and I'll be glad to quote you a price, send that price scheme to you. All right. Thanks for coming out and checking out this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.